I am turning 27 in just 7 weeks and I am tired of being a constant procrastinator. I am a chronic incompleter. And that's just not who I want to be. So in an effort to move towards the person that I'd like to be, I'm going to complete 7 projects before I turn 27. So the plan is to finish 1 project per week for the next 7 weeks. And then it should be like really easy. Starting strong with my reading journal for my last YouTube video, I am going to be creating the stencil and laying out the pages to actually make this a functional reading journal. So I've designed the stencil just in Canva, sent it to my lovely husband who has agreed to 3D print it for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And this is render 1. It's very rough, but I just wanted to get an idea of the spacing and how the letters would form. So I have this page, which is pretty much the same page as my journal, to test the stencil on. Some obvious adjustments: there's too much space at the bottom. There isn't enough space in the words for me to actually get the pen in. Don't like the shape of these stars and I think they're a bit too big. So round 2. Look at these complications.
Okay, this is rendition number 5.
Every year, Kendall and I put together a photo book which just kind of is a summary of our year in photos. And I still have to do 2025's one. I am babysitting, so I currently have like a couple hours to work on my project. I have no idea how far I am on this project, but I am gonna try and get it done in the next couple of days. So I am in photo first, and I think I have the photos. Yeah, I already have the photos here, which is great. So I'm gonna work on this for a couple hours. I actually forgot that I already made one. Yay.
Okay, so it looks like I have all of my pictures. There are 300 pictures in here, all in. So now I actually just have to work on the layouts, which admittedly is the most time-consuming part, but let's do it.
Welcome to my closet. Excuse the trashy audio. I have lost the adapter for my mic, so I am yelling into my camera. I have started kind of clearing out my closet a bit, but it is not organized and it is not optimized, and I never know what I have and I never have enough space. So let's take a look at the mess. So above we have our giant suitcases. There's nowhere else for them to go. They don't fit under the bed. They will always be on display. So on this side, you can see I have added this little hook, but this hook stops the door from closing, which is super annoying. Tote bags, and then projects ongoing, my hanging space, and then I did add these 2 IKEA like bedside tables, but inside is like my crafting stuff, so like no extra space for clothes. And then on this side, can't even open the door. Yeah, I don't know, it's embarrassing, it's a mess. So these are the clothes I have already decided I'm getting rid of, and then this is a box of nonsense, and then this is a bag of things we need to donate. So as you can see, there's already a lot going on. Kind of started, I did buy some organizational things. I got these little buckets for like socks and underwear, and then I did get some hooks to screw into the sides of the doors. Ideally I would like some more clothing space so I can get some more clothes. I am trying to go in my fashion journey and I feel like I just don't have the space for it. I recently found this like clothing exchange place where you can take in your old clothes and then you get credits to buy secondhand clothes essentially. But that's another day's Shaylin's problem. Constant procrastinator. Today, clean out the wardrobe, baby. The side of the cupboard just really overwhelms me. Okay, anyway, pull it all out. Chuck it on the bit. I'm looking for this. Ah! I don't want to hear any judgment. No judgment. You never think you have a lot of stuff until you see it all piled up on your bed. Like, that is wild. Anyway, my cupboard is cleared out. Mostly. These I'm gonna leave as they are. They're pretty organized. I'm gonna need to take them out and take these off because at some point I stuffed this so full that I pushed the back out. Now it's like here, so it's not very well made. But I'm gonna find some nails and nail that back in. But I'm gonna need to move this whole thing. We have this piece of wood on the floor which balances out because our like room like slopes down, but it's a bit long and I'm constantly like tripping over this thing, so I've marked where I need to cut. We have a jigsaw. I think I've used a jigsaw once before, but yeah, it's Strong Independent Woman Day, so hopefully I don't chop off my fingers. I'm getting nervous. People do this on the internet all the time. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay. So, okay. I am so nervous. Wow, that's a strong smell for some reason. I don't have safety goggles, but I did find my missing sunglasses. How cool do I look? I am cutting away from myself. Ready? Oh, he's not straight, but it's in. I did it! It's so skew. It's so skew. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Good enough is what I always say. Heck yeah! Do you want to hear something serendipitous? I got these little hooks from IKEA, but they didn't come with any screws. So I looked in my little collection of random screws and just happened to have just enough of the exact right depth of screw, and they're black, so they match, which is really cute. Anyway, on to my second power tool of the day. My energy levels are beginning to run out pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I still have the mammoth task of putting everything back. I've changed into my comfy clothes because it is now time to organize all of this into piles. Enjoy this beautiful time lapse because I want to listen to copyrighted music. Okay, so I have my box of things I'm gonna try sell on Vinted, and then I have 3 more manageable carry bags of clothes to take to the clothing exchange, and anything they don't take I will then donate to the charity stores. And then these are clothes for a clothing bank My back is aching, but I think once I clean this up, and there's not actually that much to do. I've been cleaning up while I've been going, which is like unheard of for me. Maybe I'm in my Lucille phase. But anyway, there's not that much to clean up, and I think 30 more minutes and I will be done with this project. First project done! Let's do it! Let's go! Something I am constantly having to do and then constantly putting off is gardening. Now, I live in the city, I don't have a garden. I do have a lot of pot plants. Here are all of my plants that we're dealing with today. I don't know if I have enough pot plants. Can you ever have enough pot plants? But I do have a lot and they do need care. But during winter I decided to just leave them be to try and get them into a bit more of a seasonal routine. But yeah, the winter has done some interesting things. Like this used to stand up straight, and for some reason it just collapsed, and like it's growing. I was just about to say it's super healthy. Yeah, so I'm gonna be rearranging a lot of these plants. Okay, see if you can keep up. This one's going in that pot. This one is going in that pot. That one is going in this pot with that one. This is going in that pot. This is going in that pot. This is going in that pot. That is going... Did I say that already? Something's going in that pot. This one's going in that pot. No. I went to IKEA. If you... Look at that. A whole nother one just came off. If you didn't know, IKEA is actually really great for plants. They have a really great selection. And if you go into the as-is section, you'll often find like discounted plants, like orchids for €2, or like... There was like a palm tree for €2. I was this close to buying it. These, I bought 3 of these, and then I bought myself this cutie. And then I do have some hanging plants. So I'm going to be macrameing hanging plants to go over here, and then the rest of my plants. I originally was doing terracotta, but in South Africa, the terracotta will like dry out. But because in Ireland, everywhere is moist, all of my terracotta plants are growing mold on them, and I can feel that affecting my respiratory system. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna macrame that thing today, and I'm gonna call this, I want to say almost done, because I do want to get one more big pot for my little tree. And again, not finishing a project. But anyway, let's get it 90% done. And like, this is probably the reason why I never finish any projects, because I want to start them, or I start them and then they just evolve and evolve and evolve. And it just feels like there's like no end date in sight. But there will be. I will finish this project before my birthday. Round 2. Everyone say hi to Jerry. It's 8:15 p.m. I have literally just finished work. But there's T-minus a week and a half until I turn 27, and I still have 6 incomplete projects. I think tonight I'm gonna cozy up with a TV series. I'm busy watching The Other Bennett's Sister, and if you aren't watching that, what are you doing with your life? I'm gonna finish my 2025 photo book and maybe get some headway on my reading journal. I've decided for my reading journal I'm only going to do 100 pages, and then I have a couple intro pages I need to do. I'm out tomorrow morning, so I think I might try and get some of my shopping done tomorrow. Yes. Okay, I'm not feeling as hopeless having got that off my chest. So yeah, let's cozy up, finish that photo book. Boop boop.
I'm obviously delirious because I have been working for like 9 hours today.
I started this project 4.5 years ago. She's still really striking. Can you just see me? Like a red carpet one day. My little baggie. So cute. The fact that this bag has traveled across the world with me, and I don't know, I just couldn't give up on it. So I have to finish it. I'm turning 27 and I'm gonna be the girl who finishes things. So I'm really looking forward to it. I have the two, oh actually just the one. It's almost done. I have the one side over here to finish, and then filling in some of the gaps where some of the beads have fallen off. I need to do a lining for the inside. I have 2 different fabrics which I thrifted back in South Africa. So there's this like really white one, which might be a bit too stark I think, and then I have this lovely cream. It's also a nicer feeling material. It feels very luxury, like embroidered and stuff, and I think that just goes perfectly. I gave up on this because the handles were really throwing me off. Initially I ran out of glue like 4 times, and then I couldn't be bothered getting any more. But I think what stopped me was the fact that my initial like vision for it was very different, and I think it became so much work that I wanted it to look like really beautiful, and I just hadn't put in the effort to make it like that. Like you can see all of the holes for all of the beads, and I think if I had really put in as much effort as I would have wanted to, then I would have put in, you know, done it properly. But that's not why we're here. We're here to finish, and really, who's gonna look at your bag up close? Also, we just live in a society where we don't make things anymore because we're scared of imperfections, and it's just so easy to buy cheap knockoffs of everything that we just don't have fun taking inspiration and running with it, you know. So first things first, I need to get some glue. I bought 3 different types of glue. Line it. And then I want to do, once it's lined, I can do like a rim of really tiny beads along the top. Do you guys want to see my bird? Hello, Jerry.
Hello, hi. It is Monday. My birthday is on Sunday, and I have 5 out of 7 projects to complete, and I am still yet to decide on what project number 7 is. I did get some progress over the weekend and stenciled a lot of the pages of my journal. I have 8 left, and then I have the introduction pages, and then I also filled in the big gaps on my pearl bag. So left for this, I have to do the bottom, I have to buy wire, make the handle, finish the lining, and then finish up, put in the tiny beads, and then cover the whole thing with glue. So this is still quite a lot of work. This I think might take me just another 2 hours. Let's do that. I feel like that took a long time. Let's see how long it takes. Good morning. Last night I finished my reading journal. My camera died last night, but I did save my little timer. It took me an hour and a half to do the little bookmark pages, and then I spent another hour finishing off the journaling pages. So I have my stencil in the front for when I do more pages, and then it begins. The bookshelf. But there is 200 books on the bookshelf, and then it gets into the journal, and I have 100 of these racing pages. But yeah, this is the book I am currently reading. Shakespeare and Company, lent to me by my friend. She actually got it from Shakespeare and Company bookshop in Paris, which is like so cool, and it's about how the bookshop was started. So I'm interested to read that little historical autobiography. Another project, Denzel Washington. I am finally on to my 6th project. And I may or may not have decided on my 7th project, but I'll tell you about that later. I actually didn't start this one too long ago, at the beginning of this year, so just a couple months. I am busy crocheting myself a flower over top thingy. I had wool, and I kind of sort of almost know how to crochet, so I figured why not, I'll make it myself. I got the yarn from my mom's yarn shop in South Africa, but I only got one ball, so yeah, I ran out and I only got halfway through the top. But I did manage to find a really similar shade and weight from my local yarn shop. On camera it looks very different, but in real life they're very similar. So this is where I'm at. I have a double layer up until here, so I'm missing 7 when then I think I'll have the complete top. I've heard that sewing the pieces together is the hardest part and takes the longest. And then I also thrifted this necklace. It has all these little hooks with pearls in it, and I was like, maybe I can just like clip them all together with like the little pearls inside, and maybe that'll make it a little bit more fashion looking, sleek looking. I don't know, we'll give it a try. Wire has been acquired. Finish this bad boy. I'm having a despondent day. I couldn't get to IKEA to get the pots that I wanted to finish my garden project because there are protests in Dublin, and like there's nothing you can do about it, you know. In other bad news, I coated the one side of my bag in glue, and even though I couldn't tell at all, there was slightly some red paint in my paintbrush, which has tinted a couple spots of my bag, and the glue has left a whole lot of like rough bubbles all over the bag. So I will not be coating the rest of the bag. We will just say that this has a good side and a bad side and a good side. At least it has one good side. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna call this project finished. If any of the beads fall off, I will just re-glue them on. But for now, they seem to be stuck really well. So let's see how it holds up. So I'm gonna take that one off. Call that one Denzel Washington. So I have to finish my crochet top, which is actually just gonna take me so long. If there's one thing I am in my last few days of being 26, it is stubborn, and I will get them done out of sheer spite if I have to. For my 7th and final project before I turn 27, I am going to be editing this YouTube video. I haven't posted a YouTube video since January, and I'm really keen to get back into it, and I think this is a great way to do that. Like, it is an incomplete project because technically I started it. T-minus 12 and a half hours until my birthday. I still have 3 incomplete projects: my crochet top, my garden, and here's where we're at with the crochet top. It's actually looking so cool, hey? Ta-da! Run into a little bit of a dilemma. I do not have enough of these little hooks, so I'm gonna have to go and get some hooks.
It is 11:30 and I have finished 4 minutes of my YouTube video.
Hi, so it's been a week. So my birthday has come and gone, and last time you saw me I had 2 incomplete projects. I did in that time find time to go to IKEA and finished my garden project. And now I'm finishing this YouTube video. Let's get it, baby.
They don't fit under the bed. They will always be on display.
We're up to 22 minutes, but I need to go to a worship concert right now. I'm back and I showered. Let's finish this video. Time to make a thumbnail.
Thanks for watching. Okay, bye!